Hi, friends, and welcome back. My name is Sarah, and on here we talk about spirituality, self development, and anything else that piques my interest. So, if you're new here, then welcome. So glad to have you. Firstly, I would like to apologise for taking an unscheduled week off last week. I had a little bit of car drama and I spent a lot of time and energy dealing with that. So, just didn't have the time to dedicate to an episode. But we're back today, and today I want to talk about something that I'm really, really passionate about, and that is having a niche. Or I should say, not having a niche. I also want to apologise if you hear anything in the background. Muka is playing with one of his favourite toys right now, and he just gets really into it. So if you hear anything, it's him, and I apologise. So, yeah, this episode is really for my fellow content creators or fellow creatives in general that have been constantly told that you have to niche down in order to be successful, in order to grow your channel, your podcast, your Instagram, your blog, in order to like be able to promote yourself better, whatever it is. I personally really don't like the idea of niching down or being so hyper focused on one specific thing because I am a very multi passionate person. And I would argue that most humans are that way. I think we are kind of designed to be that way, certainly in today's day and age when there's so much choice available to us. There's so much that we can be doing. We can have so many different hobbies and interests and places we like to go and things we like to do. I think there's not a lot of people nowadays that are kind of just all about one thing, and I think that's a good thing. I think having lots of interests and lots of passions really shapes us as humans, and I don't think that we should be so encouraged to niche down. So, yeah, if you are a fellow creative, if you're a content creator, if you're an actor, performer, whatever it is, then this episode is definitely for you. But I think this applies to anyone in general. I think this can be applied to anyone in any walk of life because I think for some reason there is a real focus on having a niche, of having a really specific thing that you're good at, that you do the best. And whilst I do see the value in that, I just think this idea of forcing creative people, especially, to have a niche is a little bit stifling and it's a bit contradictory to the whole creative process because to be creative, we actually need space. We need the space to be expansive and to let our minds explore and to try new things and fail and succeed and just really explore everything that we can. So actually, I think niching down is really contradictory to the whole idea of being a creator of any sort. I have tried to niche down so many times. Like, I cannot tell you, there have been so many times where I'm like, right, okay, I'm only going to talk about spirituality, or I'm only going to talk about books, or I'm only going to talk about acting, and that's that next thing, in terms of like my Instagram, especially because I am most active on Instagram. And it just has never worked for me. I've just found it really stifling. I've found it really hampered my creative process and it made me feel really bored. And therefore, I felt like my content was kind of stale. I just felt like I was losing the passion behind it. I'm just the type of person that I need to be free to do lots of different things. I need to express myself in different ways and also I go through phases. And I think that's another really important thing to note that us as humans are cyclical beings, meaning we will go through phases, like just like the moon does, just like nature goes through phases. We will go through phases in our life where we're more passionate about some things than others. And that should be accepted. I feel like we should have the freedom to be able to do that and not fear that all our followers are going to just drop away because we've kind of taken a step back from talking about this one thing. So I guess that also kind of relates to us as audience members, maybe having a bit more of a mindful approach to people that we follow and realizing that if they are posting something that's maybe a little bit different or they're trying something new, to kind of give them that space and that, yeah, just that platform to be creative and try. And some things might not work and some things will. And I think we have to be more accepting of that as people that are consuming content as well. So yeah, I think that as humans, it is in our nature to be multifaceted and multi-passionate and we shouldn't feel like we have to stifle that or like squeeze ourselves into this box and put this label on ourselves. I just truly don't believe that that's actually helpful. Again, I will say there are certain situations where I understand having a niche is helpful. You want to be the go to person for a certain thing, or maybe you are using your Instagram or your blog or your YouTube channel or whatever to promote your business. So, obviously, that's kind of going to be your niche, and I get that. But I also think that For me personally, when I am following a business online, I love seeing the actual humans behind that business. I love seeing the people. I love seeing their personalities. I love knowing what they get up to because that makes me feel more connected with the brand. So even if you are listening to this and you're like, I use my Instagram, my YouTube channel, whatever to promote my business, that's fine and that's great. Like, say your business is like a makeup artist. I'm just picking that at random. That's fine. Obviously, yeah, share content about your makeup and your clients and your testimonials and all that kind of stuff, but also show a little bit of your personality because people invest in people. It is true. Ultimately, we want to feel connected to each other. We are striving for that human connection on social media and real life as well. We want to get to know people. We don't just want to see people on this one surface level just talk about this one thing. I think a lot of us love to see the many different sides of this one person, and it reminds us that we are all human, and I think it makes us more relatable as well. Yeah, I think we really need to throw away this notion that we can only be good at one thing or passionate about one thing, and that we have to really, really niche down and focus on this one thing, or else we're never going to grow and we're not going to be famous or we're not going to achieve our business goals or whatever. I think that idea kind of strips us of our individuality in a sense, and our individuality is something that should be celebrated. So if niching down works for you and it works for your business model, then absolutely great. I'm not saying to just like throw everything away and just start posting about what you had for breakfast. I do think it's helpful to show our personalities and to appreciate that we are all multifaceted and multi-passionate people, and that's okay, and we should embrace that more. So I know this has been a little bit of a rant, but I hope that it is reaching the people that it needs to, because I actually listened to a podcast recently. It's called the Gorgeous Gorgeous Girls podcast. Shout out to Ashley and Frankie, who run that. But they did a podcast episode about this whole idea of having a niche as well. And it really, really spoke to me. And it was funny because maybe a week or two before they released this episode, I changed my Instagram and TikTok bio to a multi-passionate girl in a niche world because I just kind of hit a breaking point where I was like, I just feel like niching down doesn't work for me. I'm a very expansive person. I like to try loads of different things. I'm a multi-passionate person and I just want to throw away this idea of having a niche because I just feel it stifling me. So I like changed that in my bio, and then they brought out this episode and I was like, that is so synchronistic. So if you want to hear their thoughts about this, I will link their episode in the notes below. But yeah, I really think that we need to embrace all of who we are and not feel like we have to squeeze ourselves into a box with a nice neat label on it, being like, this is me, I do this one thing, I am a mum, I am a doctor, I am an actor, whatever it is. There's so much more to us that we can be sharing with the world. I believe everyone has their own unique story, and yeah, we just need to embrace everything about us that makes us unique. And so I guess in that sense, that is your niche. Your niche is you. And that's one of the things that the girls talked about on their podcast, is that you are your own niche. No one can do it the way you can. No one can say it how you say it. No one has been through exactly what you've been through in life, and that is your power. So you don't have to like try and fit yourself into this box that doesn't feel right or feel stifling for you, because you are your own niche. So realize that and take your power back. It also reminds me of this Shakespeare quote, so that is how I'd like to end today's episode. I love a bit of Shakespeare. I am an actor. So there's a Shakespeare quote, and it's often misquoted, or it's only half quoted. So you probably heard this one. The quote is, "A jack of all trades is a master of none." Sounds kind of negative. It sounds like if you're good at all these different things, you like all these different things, you're not actually, you haven't mastered anything, so it's a negative. But the full quote is actually, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one." So it's actually a positive quote. If you read the full quote, it's actually a celebration of people that are multi passionate and have their finger in all these different pies and have all these different interests and weird talents and random bits of knowledge. So, yeah, I just wanted to end with that quote because I always think about it, because I feel like I'm a little bit a jack of all trades, and I've always felt like that's a negative thing, and it's not. It's not. It's a positive thing. It's great to be multi-passionate. It's great to be curious about the world around you. So yeah, just remember that. And I hope this resonated with you. If you felt like you needed to hear this, then please leave me a comment below. Reach out to me on Instagram is probably the best place. My handle's at Sarah C. Meikle. And thank you so much for being here. Remember, you are your own niche, and keep expanding your horizons.